Okay, good evening and welcome everybody. Let's jump into our trading for today, first day of September. So September 1, 2023. Let's jump into it. So SPY, the spiders gained 0.84 today, a little over 0.19%. So a small, slight up day overall in SPY. We ran up a bit earlier, sold off into the day, finished off the lows, and just really fractionally higher. Not a whole lot of anything. If we take a look at where we are on the weekly, you can see we had a fantastic week. So a pretty big up week, strong move up, heading up towards the bearish PSAR signals up here. We remain in this uptrend channel, bouncing off the 21 nicely and moving higher. MACD trying to reverse, RSI is reversing. So the weekly still looks pretty constructive, pretty good. Nothing to change on the weekly view. And if we look at the daily view, nice bounce here off of this support level, moving back up through the 50 and then the 21, which remain stacked now. We're back above them both pretty nicely. MACD rising higher, the MACD line breaking the zero line as well, which is a bullish sign. RSI running higher, but getting a little flat in here, but nothing that you could say it looks bad at all. If we take a look at the Qs, similar type of style. Great week, two nice up weeks in a row, very nicely above its moving averages. MACD reversing higher, RSI moving higher on the day, remains in its uptrend channel, bouncing off again of its support level, breaking back up to the 50, the 21, yada, yada, same type of story as SPY. Solid MACD up, moving up, MACD line crossing the zero line. And the only thing I think to take a look at here would be RSI not quite tipping over, but looking a little weak here. So as we move back towards these highs, RSI is definitely not at the same level that it was back here. That'll be something to keep an eye on. If it does not move higher, that RSI divergence does spell a little trouble, just like it did back in here. We'll keep an eye on that on the Qs. And then on IWM, a good solid up day again today. Strong week, bouncing off the 21 and 50 EMAs. On the weekly, MACD moving higher, RSI moving back higher. Strong looking moves on the IWM, which had been really in this channel for quite a while. The key will be what happens if we get back to the top of this channel around 200-ish or so. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye on. Other than that, strong daily, moving up MACD, RSI, moving above its 21, the 21 back above the 50. Strong moves. So looking good there. Dollar, let's just touch base on the VIX. The VIX just looks dead. Back down to 13 on the VIX. Life support, maybe. Two big down weeks took it from 18 all the way back to 13. Nearly a 50% smushing, not 50%, about 30% mushing on this thing. I hate the VIX. Nothing to say here. Taking a look at the US dollar, another decent up day on the US dollar today. So we gapped up higher and stayed there most of the day. Ran down, stayed pretty much where we opened, and a good solid day, another up week. So we can add now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7 straight weeks of the dollar moving higher. Is this dollar going to take a break anytime soon? I don't know, but when you look at the underlyings here on the weekly, MACD is rising, and you're about to get the MACD line crossing through the zero. RSI rising. You look at the daily. It was trying to cool off on the MACD, but that didn't have any effect on pricing. RSI did hit new highs on the new high, so that was a strong move. Came back down, but has turned back up. So the key here will be, does RSI, if we set new highs here, and we're almost back to these previous highs from couple sessions ago, the RSI is not there yet. So does that signal any weakness in the dollar? I don't know, but it's not in any overbought territory yet on either the weekly or the daily. So the US dollar has a ways to go. And everyone who thought that bonds were on their big march all the way back to 150 bucks or so, a little premature. Bonds got smoked today, dropping over. RSI and the dailies tipping over along with MACD. Doesn't look too hot. We failed right here today to get above the 21. We did poke above it for 3 sessions, back down below. Downtrend remains intact. We never did break the downtrend line. Until that happens, can't really do anything. Maybe we got the double bottom in. Maybe we'll get another retest here. Maybe we're going to fill this gap back in here, and then we can go. So maybe we'll fill the gap and go. See what happens on TLT. Strong dollar today had a pretty adverse effect on the Aussie dollar. Another down day here. Overall, a decent week. So constructive sideways week. Tipping over, though, on the MACD and the RSI. On the daily, the weekly might be starting to reverse higher. And when we look at the British pound, it held up pretty well most of the time, but then 2 solid down days, and now this doesn't look so hot. Either hitting the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is opening up. So is the British pound in for some trouble? It looks that way on the weekly. If we look at the Canadian dollar, same thing, pretty hefty down day today. Maybe getting to an oversold area. We'll keep an eye on it. And then the euro in this triangle here at the bottom of the triangle, 2 strong down days in a row. But look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red weeks. Amazingly enough, 7 up weeks on the dollar, 7 red weeks on the euro. And not looking too hot. We'll see if this thing can get some consolidation behind it here. But right now, none of the Forex looks good. We will go to what does look good, and that is oil. Oil is on fire, no pun intended. Look at the daily chart here. This thing has just massively run from 78 all the way to 85, a 10-point run in this. So a pretty strong run on oil, breaking through this previous resistance level, setting new recent highs, higher lows, higher highs. Oil is just on a tear. MACD, RSI on the weekly looking higher. MACD and RSI on the daily moving higher. Getting a little oversold, but it doesn't mean we can't stay there for a while and keep moving higher. So really strong numbers on oil. And gold looks strong as well. So we see gold, even though today was pretty much just a flat day on gold, it's had a nice run for the last 2 weeks. We'll see if this continues, but the weekly chart, the underlying is MACD and RSI curling and moving back higher, breaking back above the 21 EMA this week. Gold looking decent. We'll see if it can break this downtrend line and get moving higher. That's where we are. If we take a quick look at the sectors today, tech up a fraction, XLY and XLC down a bit, mainly because the only things that were up here were the tech sector, which was Apple and Microsoft driving those higher. The XLY, which is your Tesla and Amazon. Amazon was down most of the day, did finish fractionally higher. Tesla dropping pretty significantly here today, all the way back to its 21 and 50 EMAs. So Tesla making a breakout, coming back. We'll see what happens in Tesla. Is it just a pullback so we can get a move higher? But right now, on the weekly, still higher highs and higher lows. Nothing to really be concerned on yet, but it's this trend line that we have to keep an eye on. On the daily, lower lows, lower highs, so it doesn't look so good, but right in the middle, we'll see what happens with Tesla. Probably a good strangle opportunity. Oil is driving energy higher. Energy had a fantastic day, up 2%, but it was not the best sector of the day. It was biotech and it was oil leading the way today. I put some tweets out on oil as a trade. So we put some, if you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead. You can jump on Twitter and take a look at that. I think it's in the descriptions here. If not, I'll make sure my Twitter is there, but I believe it is. If you're not following me on Twitter, putting a bunch of trade opportunities out on Twitter, and you can look at Tom M. King 7 on Twitter. And I put out a bunch of trade ideas today. One of those trade ideas, and let's just jump into it. One of those trade ideas is on NEO. I actually did put a trade on in the account today, even though I don't like stocks. I am going to play this low risk, high reward butterfly trade. So we've got a butterfly on NEO that we put on today. I talked about XOP as a trade today as well. I also put on a trade opportunity here on XLF, which had a good day, breaking above this downtrend line, MACD, RSI, and the daily, moving higher. Oil might be getting its act together and looking to make a move higher. Let's see what happens with oil, but it looks decent on the daily. Weekly, not so much, but on the daily, looking decent for maybe a little bit more of a run, and that's helping drive that IWM and the Russell higher. So you've got XLF, XOP, NEO trades. I put all of those out today, and we'll see what happens. In the account, I also put a BA112 trade on today. So we got a new trade, a BA112 placed in the account. If you're not familiar with that, or you want to see what that trade looks like, again, join us in the Discord there, and you can see what the trades I'm putting on live are. Igor in the account as well, also putting on some SPX trades. So we've got a lot of good stuff going on in the Discord. If you're not in the Mr. Top Tip Discord, I recommend jumping in. Igor with a 111 bear trap trade today. Also adding some other trades in there, some really good member opportunities too. Seeing members doing some gold and some Aussie dollar trades. So some good stuff you can see our members doing if you want to jump into the Discord as well at Mr. Top Tick. You can check out the description links here. Enough about that. Let's keep moving on, and let's take a look at the actual trading account itself. Here's where we are for the day. So the week ended this week. Today, first day of September, Delta 239, which is 0.08, perfectly within our parameters, nothing to do on Delta. Theta today jumped up since we did put some new trades on. We put a new trade on gold today. If you want to catch that, again, jump in, see what we did. Great trade on gold. Excited to see where that one goes. Theta back to 760.26, a little light. We'd like to get some more Theta on next week. The BA112 we put on doesn't do a lot for Theta, but it does give us semi-hedge and a tad bit of income as well for very little buying power. So we bought ourselves a really big 112 trap on that trade. Net lick dropped just a tad today, 297.302. We are flirting with the $300,000 mark. Well, hopefully we can get to that next week. BP jumped up today. I added more BIL, so I added more of the 1 to 3 month T-bills out there. We'll let the margin settle on these, and I'll probably add some more next week. Today it went ex-dividend, so the price drops. We get our dividend paid in a couple days, our monthly dividend, which we're looking forward to, a little over 5% annual. So we'll look at today's monthly, or today's monthly dividend should hit soon, and I added more to it. So I added basically another probably 4 or 5% of buying power. I'm going to be moving buying power to 20% in BIL here. So you'll see our buying power usage, even though it's at 60 here, technically 14% of that is in BIL. So we're really somewhere around 56, 55% on BP. Totally fine. We closed no trades today, but we ended the week $8,545 up. That was a fantastic week. So when we're looking back, we had a week at 9,400 a while back, 5,000. So this is one of the second biggest weeks we've had in the last couple months. Great month, 15,286 for the month of August. ended up the month 5.34% in the account, and realized gains, take home money, and realized profit for this week, $8,500 for the week. If you annualize that out, that $8,545 a week, not that this would be something we would do every single week, but that's a pretty nice penny. $444,000 a year. Not going to happen. I'm not going to post that as my YouTube, catch, posting here. I'm not going to tell everybody you're going to make $44,000 a year. However, $8,500, pretty good for a week. We'll take that and we'll move on. So added bill today, we added a new gold strangle today. We added a BA112 today. Some pretty good opportunities in the account. And we took some things off in some of our other accounts, but this particular account had a great month of August. We'll recap that, what worked, what didn't work. Most everything did work in August. We'll do a recap over this weekend. I hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. Take care, enjoy the weekend, stay safe, and we'll see you guys trading next week. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll have some great new stuff out for you. And check out the live trading from this week. New trade rules posted yesterday. Some more coming out this weekend till we get to our 17, and then we'll recap them all. Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.